Hi, welcome to the Digital Yacht how-to video series. Today's video we're going to focus on the new wireless to NMEA server, which is our WLN10, and this unit comes in two variants. We have the normal version, which works at the 4800 baud rate, the normal NMEA 0183 baud rate, and we have the high-speed version, or the WLN10 HS, which works at the 38400 baud rate. Now, sometimes, if you've only got one unit in stock and a customer asks for the unit with the other baud rate, it's quite useful to be able to reconfigure this. Or if you're an end user and you've bought the unit to work initially with your GPS or instruments, and then you want to add AIS, it's useful to be able to configure from, say, 4800 to the 38400. So today I'm going to show you how to do this very easily with a free program called TeraTerm, which we include on our product CDs, and I'm going to take you through the whole stage of doing all the steps of doing that. So let's start by installing TeraTerm. If we go to my computer and make sure that you've got your Digital Yacht CD-ROM installed or fitted in the CD-ROM drive. Okay, I'm going to go to the TeraTerm utility folder, and then I'm going to run TeraTerm setup. So click next. I'm just going to quickly run through this. I accept. Next. That's because I've already had it installed on here and uninstalled it, so I'm going to install it again. Now the only things I don't install are the logme in, the SIGTerm Plus and the TTL edit. In fact, we don't even need the TT proxy either. Let's just install the TTSSH, and that should be fine. So go next. English is the language we want, and next. Now I'm only going to create a desktop icon, so I'm going to run through that. Okay, so that should all be installed. Doesn't take too long. I'm not going to launch it just yet, so I'm going to close that, because the first thing we need to do is set up a wireless link between our PC and the WLN10. So to do that, I mean, this is Windows XP, but the approach is exactly the same with Vista or 7. It's just the actual Windows might look a little bit different. So I've clicked on the wireless icon to bring up the list of wireless access points that it can detect, and there's our Digital Yacht WLN10, and that's the serial number 1234 of my unit. So I click on that and I hit connect. Now what the PC is doing now is it's setting up an ad hoc network, what's called an ad hoc network. Now there's two types of networks. There's infrastructure, which is the sort of more formal connection that you have between a PC and, for instance, say like a wireless router. Or there's this ad hoc mode, which is fairly unusual, but it's used quite a lot when you want to transmit data between two devices. You don't want to go to all the trouble of setting up a full network. So it takes a little bit longer to connect through an ad hoc network than it does through an infrastructure one. So we'll just let that do its thing. In the meantime, I'm going to show you a little bit about TeraTerm. So when you run TeraTerm, it asks you what type of connection you want to create. Now if this PC had a serial port on it, or a USB to serial port adapter, it would give you the option of doing a serial port connection. So it's quite useful for NMEA 0183 viewing that data. But what we're interested in is a TCP/IP connection, which will connect between the PC and the WLN10. Now to do that we need to know the WLN10 IP address, which we need to put that in. Now that is included in the instruction manual of the WLN10, but I'll just put that in now. It's 169.254.1.1, and we want to use Telnet as the service that we're going to use, and the port that we want is 2000. So those are the three things you put: 169.254.1.1, Telnet, and 2000 as the port. And then hopefully now it says it's connected, so we should be able to go OK. And sure enough, we've got a reply from the WLN10. It just says hello when the connection's made. So now we're connected to the WLN10. What we need to do next, I'm just going to close that wireless window. What we're going to do next is we need to, the only change we need to make to the TeraTerm menu is if we go Terminal and just click Local Echo to on. What that does is as I type, it actually puts what you type up on the screen, so you're not left wondering whether it's typed correctly or not. And what we want to do now is put the WLN10 into its configuration mode, and to do that we're going to send it $3 signs. So I've just typed $3 signs and I hit return, and you'll notice here where it had originally said hello, it's now put CMD, it's in command mode. And just to prove that, we can go I'm going to do a command that's get Yacht. Now that will basically return the baud rate that this is set to. So the baud rate of this particular unit is a 4800, so it's a normal WLN10. And if I wanted to now configure this to be a WLN10 HS at 38,400, I just do set Yacht to baud rate 38,400, and that's set it. The fact that it's come back and said A-OK is its way of acknowledging that the command has been successfully set. Just to be 100% sure, we can go get Yacht again, and sure enough the baud rate is now set to 38,400. So what we want to do now is save that setting. So type save, and it's storing the config. And now the best thing to do is to exit that mode, and that exits. And then if we were to press the reset button on the WLN10, it will now be set correctly to 38,400. So that is how you do it. Very straightforward. TeraTerm's a great little program, comes in very useful for other things, and I hope you found this interesting and can now reconfigure your WLN10 when needed to. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.